Hey guys, you're watching Boogie Plays Games, or sometimes Boogie Plays Games, and right now in the background, I'm playing The Division. But in reality, right here on my hard drive, I am uninstalling The Division. Yeah, the time has come. I'm done with this game, for a variety of different reasons. The first of which, obviously, is that you guys were not that interested in it. I loved streaming this game on Twitch a little bit for a little while, but you guys didn't enjoy watching it as near as much as I enjoyed playing it. And you guys really get to pick the games for the most part. That's why I play so much H1Z1. I'm actually kind of bored of H1Z1 right now. But you guys love it so much, so we keep coming back. But you can't blame that on The Division. But there are plenty of things you can blame on The Division. So I wanted to take a final look, maybe a final review, just some final thoughts on The Division, and talk about what they got right that I liked and what they got wrong. First off, I want to say that on PC and console alike, this game was beautiful. It looked very, very sexy. And yes, it had its graphical bugs and its graphical glitches, and if you played the game long enough, you would definitely find plenty of other bugs as well. But for the most part, it was a pretty good game when it comes to what it looked like. It certainly did not look like the E3 trailer we got, and that is very, very frustrating. But if you're willing to finally just realize that's what Ubisoft does and will never be burned by it again, and that's what they're just going to do, fuck it, then fine. This game still looked good if you stood by itself and not next to that E3 footage. The game world was also pretty damned good, and while it wasn't the giant game that we were expecting, and it probably will be once they're done selling everybody DLC, it, for the most part, was a very detailed, very graphically pleasing, and fun to explore world. Not only were parts of it exact replicas of New York, not only did Times Square look realistic, not only did some of the buildings look realistic, but overall, it was just a fun place to explore because they put all of these little tiny things to discover and little tiny events and tiny firefights and stuff like that that made it worth actually getting out there while you were leveling up. But I found myself losing interest very, very quickly, and the news surrounding this game certainly did not help that aspect. By level 9, I found myself repeating the same monsters over and over again, the same types of events over and over again. The storyline was not compelling enough to keep me wanting to play, to go through this types of combat. Overall, it just was not that fun of a game for me. Now, if you don't mind shooting the same things over and over again in order to get incrementally better loot, then this is the game for you. If you like Destiny, you'll probably like The Division. Even though they're very different games, they do have that one thing in common. You can grind and grind and grind and grind to get slightly better loot until you max out your bars, and if you're that kind of person, you're going to love it. I'm more of a Borderlands 2 kind of guy. I like wacky guns, I like weird guns, I like bizarre stuff. I found nothing like that, and as far as I know, there's very little things like that. And I think that's because, as Angry Joe said, that has a lot to do with the Tom Clancy license. They wanted to take place in the Tom Clancy world. That's not a wacky world. It's not a weird world. It's a world where just guns are guns and guns shoot. And that's how they do. They shoot faster sometimes. They shoot harder sometimes. They shoot different ammo sometimes. They have different shapes sometimes. But at the end of the day, guns are guns. You're not going to see anything weird. So I'm uninstalling. And it's in part because of my own experiences, but it's also in part because of other people's reviews. People saying that it doesn't get any better, that it doesn't get any more interesting. Even once you reach the dark zone, the game is not that much more exciting. So let me say in closing remarks a few things to Ubisoft. You guys are getting better. I mean, this is much better than I would have expected a year ago. I thought The Division was going to be a complete clusterfuck. It was not. It was a very average game, if not slightly above average. And obviously, it's got the sales records to prove it. When you guys actually put some real effort into a game, try to put that spit and polish on it, and try to make it shine, it works. And I'm so glad that you did that with this game. I had a lot of fun when I had a friend drop in. When I played with Greek or I played with other people that I knew, the game was fairly interesting. It is a good social experience. And as for these MMO lights, these massively multiplayer online light games, these social shooters, I think you got the formula right. Even if it doesn't appeal to me, I think for the people it does appeal to, they're going to really enjoy your game. I'm not sure what your business model is going to look like going forward. Obviously, you're here to sell DLC and sell season passes and sell cosmetic upgrades. I wish that the game itself as a whole could have been more robust. Had there been more in the basic game, had there been more interesting stuff in the basic game, I would still continue to play. And as I continue to play, I would still pick up DLC and cosmetics and things along that lines. You just needed more for the bang for the buck right at the beginning of the game. But either way, Ubisoft is moving in the right direction, and I can't argue with that. They're getting better, which is something they've needed to do for a really long time. But that's just one man's opinion. I could be wrong. I'm curious, are you still playing The Division? Did you ever play The Division? Was it a game you decided to skip over? Do you trust Ubisoft? Do you felt they got this one a little more right or a little more wrong? Overall, what was your experiences? Are you still playing? Have you uninstalled? Are you never going to play? Let me know in the comments section below, guys. I love you very much. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak with you again soon.